Hi everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel and a series that I'm calling Blythe Sewing Basics. Hi everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. I have Sanibel here and Miami, and both of them are modeling a super simple and fun little A-line dress. So this video is part of my Blythe Sewing Basics series. I have a number of other videos related to sewing for Blythe dolls in this series, and I have a playlist. So if this is the first video in the series that you're catching, and especially if you're new to sewing for Blythe dolls, you may want to pop over and start at the beginning of the series. There aren't a ton of videos in this series, but there are enough that you might find the first few helpful before jumping in and sewing for these dolls. So this is a free pattern available off the internet that is very popular. Many people have done this pattern. I did not create the pattern, by the way, but it is basically called A-line dress. I will put the link down below, but just in case, you know how the internet can be weird sometimes, if the link doesn't work. If you just search for Blythe doll A-line dress, this typically pops up in Google. One reason I thought it would be useful to do this video is because, like I said, it's very popular. But honestly, the first time I tried to make it, I really kind of struggled because even though there are instructions that come with the pattern, they were not going through my head well. So between Beth Ramsden's video of making this dress and the instructions and my own kind of experimentation, I did come up with a method that works for me, and that is what I'm going to share in this video. Here's the fabric. Here is the pattern. I am going to assume at this point that everybody who's watching this video has already watched my other videos where I talk about basic supplies that you need, and especially the first couple of videos I talk about that sort of thing, supplies and materials and that kind of stuff. So I am going to be using this fabric here and this fabric here. They're both cotton, just 100% cotton. I tend to prefer quilting cotton because it's a higher thread count and it just has wonderful patterns and stuff. And this is pretty decent size. It's not super huge, but it's not super small. So it has worked well for doll clothes for me. And that's something to, keep in mind. Again, I have a video about picking your fabric. Here is the pattern. And I have used this pattern so much that finally I printed it out and I glued it on some cardstock. This is actually a card that somebody sent me, and I recycled it and printed and actually pasted the printed piece on top of the cardboard, and that way it's just, typically I often will pin my pattern pieces onto my fabric, but because, like I said, I was using this so much, I decided to go ahead and put it on cardstock, glue it on cardstock, and now I use a fabric pin and draw around it, and I'll show you that in a minute. But you're going to need outside fabric and inside fabric. This whole thing is lined. I typically pick something like this, which is sort of off-white, cream-colored, because it just helps keep down the possibility of staining on your dolls. So I buy a lot of this. I buy, I wait till it's on sale and buy yards and yards of similar fabric that I use to line doll clothes. So you'll need something like this. Muslin also works well. But anyways, you're going to need an outside fabric and an inside fabric and your pattern. And let's get going. So I've folded my fabric. This pattern piece has to be placed on the fold right here on the fold. So my fabric is folded over. I'm going to place it right here, making sure I have plenty of room up here. And I'm going to draw around it with this fabric marker. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, you can see it. I took the fabric marker and I drew around it. I'm going to do the same thing with the lining fabric and then cut them both out. So I thought I'd just pop in here and give you a quick tip. I find these little clear weights handy for this kind of thing. It keeps the pattern pieces down, and then it's easier for me to draw around them and not move this. Alright, so I have both my pieces cut. This is my lining. And you can see a little bit of the fabric pin there, but that's not going to show up when you sew this all together, so don't worry about it. And here's the outside part. All right, so you can see they're both the same size because this, like I said, this is the lining. So the next step is optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I tend to like to finish the inside of my doll clothes. I like any raw edges I like to have finished somehow, and there's a couple different ways to do that. You can zigzag, so the raw edges that are going to show up on these finished dresses are going to be here and here. So use this one. The raw edges that are going to show up on this dress when it's all finished are going to be here and here. Now you can, if you want, zigzag from here to here and here to here. You can also use fray check, and I have to admit I'm in more of the fray check camp lately. I like it. I've gotten used to using it and not having it go all over the place. A few tips on that: make sure that that when you cut off the edge, that it's you can see how tiny that is. Don't make it so big that all of it comes out all over the place. Okay. Another tip is I like to use tin foil and put my pieces on the tin foil and then put my fray check on, and this way it won't stick, because this is sticky stuff here. This is definitely sticky stuff. Another thing you can do is just wait to the end, and after you stitch the sides together, do a zigzag stitch on both pieces, which that's how I did. I finished this one. So there's no one way to do this. And like I said, if it doesn't bother you that there's raw edges here, no big deal. For me, I really am into having finished work on the inside. It just adds a little bit of quality to your item, and it doesn't take that much extra effort to finish them off. I am going to add some fray check to mine. Then I'm going to have to wait about 10 to 15 minutes for it to totally dry before I can sew. So I will be right back after I'm done with that step. All right, everybody, it's dry. The fray check is dry. And now I'm going to peel it off my foil. Set that aside. And we're going to put right sides together and pin and stitch. So right sides together. My little pin cushion out here. We're going to use 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that means stitching 1/4 inch in from the edge. We're going to go up to here and stop, turn, come down this way, stop, then go around the neck, stop, go down this way, stop, and then come down this way and stop. And one suggestion, most of the stitch lengths are going to be okay that are defaulted on your sewing machine. And of course you can do this by hand if you want also. You don't have to use a sewing machine. I will be using a sewing machine now. But when you get to the curvy bits around the neck and the arms, I recommend making your stitch length a tad bit smaller. There's no one size fits all with this. I just find it easier because when the stitch length is shorter, the stitches are shorter, it's just easier to go around. And I slow down on that part too. Obviously when it's straight you can go pretty fast. So let me go ahead and finish pinning this all together. All right, I have everything pinned. Let's see. Oh, I added a little bit just to help kind of show you. You're going to be sewing 1/4 inch seam allowance around the armpit area here, and I just marked it with a fabric marker to give you an idea of where you're going to be stitching at. So again, I'm going to stitch around both armpits. Oops, put that in the camera there, girl. Both armpits. I'm going to skip here and skip here and stitch across the bottom. Then I'm going to stitch here, go up, stitch around the neck, go back down, and then stitch across. So you're going to have this part, this part, this part, and this part, no stitching. All right, I'm going to do that on my machine and be right back. All right, it's all stitched up. I used white thread, so you probably can't see it. Or maybe you can see it a little bit there. All right, so I stitched it up. Yeah. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do before I turn it inside out, the next thing I have to do is any of these curvy bits, I have to cut. So that, because right now they don't stretch a lot, so very, very, very carefully, I'm just going to cut little bits around them so that making sure I do not cut that seam that I just stitched. Okay, so you do that to all the curvy bits. And something I tend to also do, remember I didn't finish these edges down here, but I also trim a little bit of the excess off. So I will cut that little corner piece, carefully trim down. It makes it a little less bulky when you turn it inside out, but there's still a good 1/8 of an inch of fabric left over. You want to make sure you don't accidentally trim off fabric that you need. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is going to be on the inside, so no one's going to see it. Okay, so now I'm going to trim around the neck and the other little shoulder area. Now here's the moment of truth, turning it inside out. And I use these bent nose pliers. You could also use hemostats. Again, I talk about this. I have a video in this series where I talk about tools and equipment. This is what I use. This is what I have on hand. So, because I'm a jewelry person too, so I'm using my jewelry bent nose pliers. I'm also a crocheter, so I'm using this bamboo crochet hook to push things out. So let me flip it out. Basically, I sneak it up through here, go here, and just grab it and pull it through that hole. You want to be kind of gentle because you don't want to rip the fabric. There we go. All right, I'm going to do the other side. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm taking my the blunt end of my bamboo crochet hook and I'm just pushing it out. About this time you want to heat up your iron because I need to press all of this before I move on to the next step. But here you want to be very careful. You want to push out the corners, but you don't want to rip through the stitching that you did. But you can start to see what it looks like here. All right, so let me push this out, and after this I'm going to lay it out, spritz it with some water, and press it. All right, done pressing. Ooh, it makes such a difference when you press stuff. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just going to fold it over and meet these two pieces together and pin them. In fact, I need to push this out a little bit. There we go. Push this out a little bit. You want those arm pieces to meet up, okay? And you want the ends to meet up. So you want the ends to be even and the arms to be even. So let me pin that and I'll be right back. All right, I have my pins in and I'm ready to stitch. Again, it's just going to be a 1/4 of an inch inseam on both sides. All right, Sanibel is modeling the dress. I pressed it a little bit more. I'm not going to lie, I still have to put snaps on it, but the dress is done. I put snaps on it. You could also put Velcro on the back, but I prefer to use snaps because Velcro can get stuck in doll hair and doll stockings and socks and that kind of thing. I like little, these are an assortment of sizes. I think I picked these up at Walmart not too long ago. So anyway, these are super handy. Here is an example of what I did. I put one up at the top and one about halfway down on these little dresses. And what's nice about these, I mean, they're not super difficult and you can still do a lot with them. This particular one, you can see I did a fussy cut, so it's got the Kiss Me right in the center. So that adds a little bit of, you know, uniqueness to the finished piece. This dress over here that Miami is wearing, she actually has some lace trim on it right there. Okay. And so, yeah, so there's a lot you can do with these, even though it's a pretty simple pattern. You can add all kinds of embellishments. You can lengthen it, shorten it, you know, whatever. So it's very versatile, and I think it's a good staple piece to learn how to sew. Even if you're a newbie, I think with hopefully the instructions I just gave you and some patience, I think you can definitely successfully make one of these super cute little A-line dresses for your Blythe doll. As usual, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and have a wonderful dolly day. Bye-bye.